Once upon a time, in a quiet village, there lived a beautiful couple, Wanja and her husband Kamau. They were admired by everyone in the village for their love and harmony. Their marriage was an example to others, but there was one thing missing. They had no children, despite being together for 5 years. They were still childless, and the villagers started to talk about it. One day, Wanja began to feel different. She had strange signs that made her think she might be pregnant. Excited but nervous, she spoke to her husband. Kamau, I think I might be pregnant, Wanja said with a hopeful smile. Kamau looked at her with wide eyes. Are you sure? We should go to the healer to confirm it. The next day, they visited the village healer. After examining Wanja, the healer confirmed that she was indeed pregnant. Overwhelmed with joy, Wanja and Kamau thanked the healer and hurried home to share the news with their families. Months passed and the time finally came for Wanja to give birth. She delivered a baby girl whom they named CHEBET. However, CHEBET did not look like other babies. She was slightly ugly, her features were unusual, and the villagers began to talk. Did you see Wanja's baby? She's so ugly, one of the villagers whispered to another. Yes, it is a shame. Such a beautiful couple having such an ugly child, another replied. Despite the hurtful comments, Wanja and Kamau loved their daughter deeply. They treated her with kindness and care, hoping that one day the villagers would see her inner beauty. But as CHEBET grew, it became clear that the villagers' opinions were affecting her. When CHEBET was old enough to play with other children, she faced rejection. The children would tease her and she struggled to make friends. Go away, CHEBET. We don't want to play with an ugly child, they would shout. CHEBET's heart would break a little more each time she heard those words. At home, she would lock herself in her room and cry, not wanting her parents to see her pain. One evening, Wanja noticed that CHEBET had been unusually quiet. CHEBET, is everything okay? Wanja asked gently. CHEBET wiped her tears and forced a smile. Yes, Mama, I am just tired. But Wanja, her mother, knew something was wrong. She decided to give CHEBET space, hoping that she would open up when ready. As CHEBET entered her teenage years, something incredible happened. She began to change. Her once awkward features transformed into a graceful beauty. Her skin glowed, her hair shone, and she became curvier. Suddenly, everyone in the village noticed her. Have you seen CHEBET lately? She's stunning, the villagers exclaimed. CHEBET was overjoyed by her new appearance. For the first time, she had received attention and admiration. People who ignored her now wanted to be her friends, but this sudden change in people's attitudes made her feel uneasy. CHEBET finished her primary education, but her scores were not very good. She had spent many years feeling sad about her looks, which had affected her studies. Despite this, she managed to join one of the best high schools in the village. Determined to leave her past behind and boost her self-esteem, CHEBET decided to try to join a group of cool girls at school. She approached them one day during break time. Hi, can I join you? CHEBET asked nervously. The leader of the group, Amani, looked at her up and down. Maybe, she said slowly, but only if you do what we say without asking questions. Desperate to fit in, CHEBET agreed. Okay, I'll do whatever you ask. Days passed and CHEBET tried hard to please the cool girls, but they always found something wrong with her. They often used her as their assistant. She would be given luggages to carry around for them, and with no choice, she had to do it. One day, as they were walking home from school, it started to rain heavily. "There's an abandoned house over there. Let's go," Amani shouted. They ran to the house, but when they arrived, they realized that it was too small for the five of them. "Only four of us can fit, CHEBET. You have to stay outside," Amani ordered. "But it's raining," CHEBET said, looking up at the pouring rain. "So what? If you really want to be one of us, you'll do it," Amani replied coldly. CHEBET stood in the rain, getting soaked, but she didn't complain. She wanted to be part of the group so badly. When the rain stopped, they continued walking and came across a pool of dirty runoff water. "CHEBET, if you really want to be one of us, drink from that water," one of the girls, Zuri, suggested with a smirk. CHEBET hesitated. "But it's dirty," she said, looking at the murky water. "Are you saying you don't want to be one of us?" Amani asked, raising her eyebrow. "No, I do," CHEBET quickly replied. Wanting to prove her loyalty, she knelt down and drank the water. The next day, CHEBET was absent from school. The girls noticed, but they didn't care much. "Where's CHEBET?" one of the girls asked. "Who cares? Probably chickened out," Imani laughed. Later that day, they heard that CHEBET was very sick in the hospital due to contamination from the dirty water. Instead of showing concern, the girls laughed it off. "She's such a weak girl," Zuri said dismissively. Meanwhile, in the hospital, CHEBET lay on the bed, feeling weak and miserable. Her parents, Wanja and Kamau, sat beside her, worried. "CHEBET, what happened?" Kamau asked gently. CHEBET, with tears in her eyes, told them everything. "I just wanted to fit in. I thought if I did what they asked, they would have accepted me." Wanja, her mom, held her hand. "CHEBET, you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. True friends will accept you for who you are." Kamau, the father, nodded in agreement. "You are special and beautiful just as you are. Never let anyone make you feel otherwise." CHEBET was now discharged from the hospital, and on arrival home, she was a different person. She was tougher and ready to stand up for herself. After a week, she was able to report back to school. The gang girls approached her, trying to put her down as usual. "Look who's back, the weakling," Amani sneered. "Did the little crybaby miss us?" Zuri added with a mocking tone. CHEBET looked up from her seat and felt a surge of anger. She stood up and, without a word, pushed Zuri to the floor. Everyone in the room was shocked. It was unheard to even point at the girls, let alone pushing them. "What did you do?" Amani gasped. Zuri scrambled at her feet, her face red with embarrassment. "You regret this, CHEBET. We'll never accept you now," she threatened. CHEBET crossed her arms and laughed. "Accept me? I wouldn't join your silly little club. If you paid me in gold and chocolate, I have better things to do, like watching paint dry or counting ants. Much more exciting." The other students burst out laughing. CHEBET's boldness and humor made them lose their fear of the gang. The girls' power started to crumble. "You think you are funny?" Amani snapped. "No, I think I'm hilarious," CHEBET replied, grinning widely. "Now if you'll excuse me, I have important things to do, like not caring about your opinions." The girls huffed and stormed off, their threats ringing hollow. CHEBET's bravery inspired the other students. They began to stand up for themselves too, refusing to be bullied by anyone. Seeing the positive change, CHEBET decided to form her own group, dedicated to fight against bullying in the school. She gathered a few like-minded friends. "We need to make the school safe for everyone," CHEBET said. We'll stand up the bullies and protect those who can't protect themselves. Her friends agreed, and together they started to patrol the school, looking out for any signs of bullying. They didn't use violence but firmly confronted anyone who tried to bully others. Their presence and actions made a significant difference. Months passed and CHEBET was still helping people out. She received special treatment from the other students who admired her bravery and kindness. However, carried away by her generosity, CHEBET found herself starting to command people. During lunch, CHEBET approached a group of students. "Hey, I want your dessert. Give it to me," she demanded. The student hesitated but handed over the dessert, afraid to say no. CHEBET took it without a second thought and walked away. Her behavior started to change. She began assigning others her duties in school. "You, clean the classroom for me today," she ordered another student. The student, fearing her, followed her orders without complaint. CHEBET didn't realize that she was turning into what she had once fought against. One morning she arrived at school, saw Angel, a shy girl, and decided to make her carry her bag. "Angel, come here," CHEBET called. Angel nervously approached. "Yes, CHEBET." "Carry my bag to class," CHEBET demanded, handing her heavy bag. Angel took the bag and struggled to carry it, but she didn't dare refuse. Days went by and CHEBET continued to command others, forgetting the values she had once stood for. The students, though initially grateful to her, started to feel resentful. They whispered among themselves, unhappy with how she treated them. One afternoon, as CHEBET sat with her friends, Angel gathered the courage to speak up. "CHEBET, why are you treating us like this? We helped you because we admired you, but now you are no different from the bullies we feared." CHEBET was taken aback. "What are you talking about? I am just making sure things are done." "No, you are abusing your power," another student chimed in. "You fought against bullying, but now you are the one bullying us." CHEBET's friends nodded in agreement. CHEBET felt a pang of guilt. She realized she had lost her way. "You are right," CHEBET said softly. "I have become what I despised. I am sorry." She stood up and addressed everyone around her. "I have made mistakes. I let power get into my head, and I treated you poorly. I promise to change." From that day on, CHEBET made a conscious effort to be kind and humble. She apologized to those she had wronged and stopped demanding special treatment. She carried her own bag and did her own duties, setting an example for others. CHEBET's sincerity and willingness to change won back the respect and trust of her peers. She continued to lead her group against bullying, but this time with a renewed sense of humility and fairness. The school remained a safe place for everyone, and CHEBET's journey became a lesson in the importance of staying true to one's value and the danger of letting power corrupt. This wonderful story teaches us that dealing with bullying requires courage, self-respect, and a commitment to fairness. When faced with bullying, it is important to stand up for yourself and others without resorting to the same negative behaviors. Building a supportive community where everyone feels safe and respected is crucial. True leadership means confronting bullies firmly but also maintaining humility and integrity. And remember, lasting change comes from setting a positive example and treating everyone with kindness no matter the circumstances. Thank you for watching this wonderful video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now, I would kindly ask you to join in our membership. I don't have any member right now, but if you join, I'll be very glad to have some members who will be supporting me and supporting my channel. Thank you so much. Bye bye.